A little history for context. Typically, when we build a tribal council, Zach Jensen, who designs all of these, will send us a package and say, here's what I'm thinking, and we'll talk about the ideas. And when he sends us this package, it's fully formed. So what you see from these old tribal councils is kind of what he pitched us in the beginning, so we could envision it.
This is sick.
But for this tribal council, for Survivor 48, Zach said, I have a different idea. I've created an imaginary civilization, the people of Izadega, and I want to build this civilization and use it for tribal council. I want to build it the way it was thousands of years ago. And then I want to age it in process. I want to show stages as we age it of the weather and the environment. And maybe there was a war and they had to patch things up. So when he started the process, it was these giant domes. And we literally had them out on the art department runway as they were being built, and then they were being painted, and they were magical colors. And he said, so the way this civilization lived was, you knew where the leaders lived. They lived in the biggest dome with the most color. You knew where the ceremonies took place. That's where the voting happens. And so we had this beautiful tribal council that we could have shot just like that. We'd never seen anything like it. Zach said, no, but that's not it. So now I'm gonna imagine hundreds of years of rain and storms and all of that environmental impact. And so the art department came out here and started aging it. And that just means making it look older, and started adding some more burlap and all these things to give it more texture. We said, looks great. And he goes, no, I'm not done, because there was a war. And the war damaged parts of these domes. So then they started adding patches, and you'll see it like on the walk to the vote. There are these big patches where they had to repair things. And he kept doing this until he got to a point where he said, now it's tribal council. And that's what you see here. And what was really fun is in the name, Izadega, he said, just for a fun little Easter egg, I put eyes at various places, the eyes of Dega. You'll see them in the logo. There's two little sets of eyes coming through the buff. They're here at Tribal Council. They're part of the motif. They're gonna be in all of the challenges. This is what you get when you're in your 48th season, is you give your teams a little license to have some fun, and then they come up with these crazy ideas. And I gotta say, we've had 48 tribal councils. This is probably top 5 for me. And it includes things like drums everywhere, because he said it was a village that drummed a lot, and that's how they did their ceremonies. So we'll send that idea to our composer, David Vanacore, and he'll incorporate some drums into the theme for this season of Survivor. That's the kind of attention to detail that we like to have on Survivor. It keeps us inspired, and we hope it keeps you enjoying Tribal Council. This is the voting confessional for Survivor 48. Let's look at the important ingredients. First, you have the urn where you put the vote in. You have this very cool pen. I'll admit, the people of Izadega had some crazy animals in their civilization. I don't know what this claw is from, but it's very cool. You take it apart and you write it down. Before I write down who I'm gonna vote out, the shot in the dark has become a really fun part of the new era. And what I really like about this was when we designed it, this only fits the shot in the dark die. And it's emotional, because once you drop it, you don't get it back. It means you're not voting, you're gonna reach in here for a 1 in 6 shot. It gets used on a fairly frequent basis, and it's always exciting just to have it in play. The last part of Tribal Council is the torch snuff. The torches are very cool this season, and clearly the people of Izadega revered tortoises in some way, because the snuffer is this giant tortoise shell, and it works really well.